Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Arrows Out team call this week. I am super excited to welcome tonight my friend and Emerald Ambassador, Kelsey Walsh. Kelsey went to Hawaii last year for her first time. I believe you went, when did you go, Emerald? Spring, some point,
April.
right? April. Okay. So April, and then has requalified and will be back in Maui again this fall. So I was really excited when Kelsey agreed to do this call. Tell us a little bit about her journey and some of her tips that she's kind of learned along this way. So take it away, Kelsey. We're so happy you're here. Thanks for taking the time.
Well, thank you so much, Nicole. I'm happy to be here. I kind of just want to share my journey. One thing, I didn't tell Nicole about this because it just kind of came up, but one thing I want to share is I actually had a call today with Steve Howard, who happens to be our CFO with Plexus. And I got an email about a week ago from corporate, and it was his assistant saying, "Are you available this time or this time?" And I was like, oh, okay, I'm available this time. And I was kind of like, am I in trouble? Like, why does he want to talk to me? And is it because my PV is so low? Like, I don't know. And we spoke for 30 minutes. We had a fantastic talk. And as if my belief in this company and this opportunity could not be any bigger, it just blew my mind. He talked about how Tarl in 2012 would always reach out to him about financial questions because the company was still a baby getting going, and Tarl doesn't know all of that, and so he would ask him. And then finally Steve said to Tarl, your company's getting pretty big, you maybe should think about hiring a CFO or someone to help you with some of this. And Tarl said to him, well, how about you? And he, like many of us, was like, eh. And he told me, he said, I just didn't think network marketing was something that I was, could get behind. And then Tarl told him about the vision and about how he wanted this to be a place where people were so proud to work and where it was so different than any other company. Like we hear, yeah, they want to be a legacy company, but what does that mean? He really got into the details, and I was just like, wow. And then he got on board, and I told him kind of my story and background, and I was like, yeah, I kind of thought network marketing was not something I could be part of. I have a degree, like I wanted to climb the corporate ladder, and I explained to him that now looking back, wow, the rest is a scam. This is the real deal. And it was just so cool. So it kind of has my wheels turning a lot about how the opportunity that we have is like a product in itself. Like we talk about products because we know they're life-changing. We know, I assume either you're on this call because you're new and you're interested in the business, or this is a life-changing opportunity or products, but we have to share the business as if it's a product too. Like it just, I don't know, today just blew my mind and built my belief even more. And so sorry, I had to throw that out there before I started.
That is awesome, Kelsey. That's really cool.
I know. I was just like, oh, I just love this guy. And I was a finance major, and he was the CFO. And so he talked about they're investing a ton in research and development right now. We're getting new products this year, which he didn't tell me anything. And I know, but it's exciting because it's just exciting. And then talked about the Canada launch and everything like that. So anyways, sorry. Okay. So that's just more a reason why, like, we're all in the right place at the right time. And this is just the beginning. Like, he really reiterated that. Okay. So my journey, in case you missed it, a couple more people hopped on. My name's Kelsey Walsh. I'm an Emerald Ambassador. Jacqueline Stanley is my upline, and then above her is Emily. So we are all in the same downline within Plexus, and we have the best upline in the entire company. We have the only 2 double diamonds. I mean, we literally have all the resources and the best people pouring into us. So actually, this month, 3 years ago, Jacqueline started sharing about Plexus on Facebook. And it actually didn't take me long at all. I reached out to her and I thought it was all about weight loss, but I still had baby weight. I would yo-yo diet, workout, nothing, I'm like, yeah, if you've got a quick fix, I'll try it. So yay, I ordered Slim and Accelerator. She sent me instructions, drink your water, consistency. I didn't read any of that. And I didn't do any of that. And so after she had followed up with me, she did everything right. She had followed up with me a few times and would ask she would say how it's going. And I said, good, great. Well, after about 2 weeks, I hadn't lost any weight. Shocker, because I wasn't doing it consistently, drinking my water or paying attention to anything else. And I said, I messaged her and said I wanted to turn off my auto ship and that, I didn't think it was working for me and I didn't want to pay the money. And she was nice about it, graceful about it. Said, okay, no problem. I think she maybe said, you still have the product, finish out your 2 weeks, you can still get your money back. And maybe I did that. I don't really remember. But I want to pause there in my story because Jacqueline had just started and we are close friends. We were sorority sisters in college. We were playing volleyball together every week. Like, she's excited about this opportunity. Here, one of her best friends tries it and quits after 2 weeks. I should ask her how she felt. I never have asked her. But we've all had people quit on us. Or if you've been doing this long at all, you've had people quit on you. And it's discouraging. And it is like, oh, man, I really wanted that person to like it. No, I wanted them to like it so much they want to tell the whole world. But the truth is, I didn't know about everything there is to know about. All I knew is I thought it was a quick weight loss, and I didn't know all of that. But so thank God that Jacqueline did not let that discourage her or let up on her passion at all. She consistently was just plexus, 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 and so excited and so passionate, and that is hard to ignore. And so, okay, back to my story. So for 4 more months, I watched her consistently post about plexus. Now I'm seeing a little bit more about gut health. And then she also was promoting within plexus. She went silver, she went gold, and that stuff gets your attention too. And so for 4 more months, I stalked her. When I say 4 months, it doesn't sound long at all, but that's like 120 days. That's 120 days of me watching her posts every day. Did I like or comment on them? No way, man. No, that would make me like a wide open target. I played volleyball with her every week, and she would like hit the ball and be like, plexus, and I'd be like, But I was watching in her pet, and finally, I decided I had to go back and find out more. I had FOMO. I had the fear that I was maybe missing out on something that was really good for me, and also an opportunity. I was a stay-at-home mom. I used to be in the corporate world. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but I knew when my daughter, so I have a son who's 9 now, and she's 6 now, but this coming up on 3 years ago, I knew when they were in school full time, I was going to go back to work. My husband was not going to let me sit home and twiddle my thumbs when there's no kids to take care of. And so I started kind of seeing this and thought, I don't want to miss out. Like, what if this is really great? So I messaged her and said, all right, I want to try these products again, and I also want to share this business opportunity. And I think she was kind of like, whoa, what? Like, she had no idea. I never let on. We didn't have a conversation. I just stalked her until I made up my mind. And I thought, well, if it's terrible, I'll just quit. So then, here's where the magic happened. I got on a welcome call with Emily Fennell. And she told me to commit for a year. Just do it. And I don't know, we talked about a lot of things. I knew Emily from college, but we hadn't talked in years. And even though, so in a way, she was a stranger, but it was just third-party validation of everything I was curious about. And it was, I don't want to say life-changing yet. What is the word? Very exciting and inspiring. And so, okay, pause my story. do welcome calls. If your upline is so new, then get their upline or get somebody. But welcome calls are huge. And I can't explain it because even as an Emerald, I have to do a welcome call. Anyone who's a business builder on my team has done a welcome call with Jacqueline. And if I couldn't get them on a call, then they're probably struggling because it's something belief building. And she doesn't necessarily say anything different than I do, but it's that third party, someone else pouring belief into them. And it's just a magical thing. So definitely don't overlook those. And even on our team, and sometimes it's not possible. A three-way thread is an okay alternative. But even if they do not, even if they say they don't want to work the business, they're really fun to talk about products. And people will open up to a stranger more than they will you sometimes. And especially if they're asking the right questions. And so definitely do welcome calls because they're crucial. Okay, unpause. So I'm excited. I'm all in. I do my first post. You guys probably been there. You want to throw up. You're so nervous. And I'm sharing every day. Not much is happening. I think in 6 weeks I went silver. I mean, I shared every day. I was reaching out. I was so excited. I had the family member call and be like, what are you doing? It's so annoying. It's my brother. I'm like, sorry, I'm going for it. I'm doing it. And then I signed up I call them my rock star sidelines. So everyone on my sideline was going gold, going to leaders retreat, winning all these things and contests. And I wasn't just posting and praying. I was sharing every day. I was reaching out. I was doing the follow up. And it took me 7 months to go gold. Again, 7 months doesn't sound long, but like I said, that's over 200 days. And I was working it hard. Like I said, I was not just posting and praying. I was reaching out to people, planting seeds. Some of the I call them rock stars, but they're so much more than that. Some of the most amazing people on my team who've gotten me to where I am were people who I was talking to this entire time, who just, it was just a process to get. Everybody has to be in the right place, kind of like with my story with Jacqueline, and then these people with me, and then some even a year later. But so a couple of things that kept me going and not to ever get discouraged, whereas there are two things that come to mind. And you guys have probably heard these, but I want to share them anyways. The first one was I went to the first Super Saturday. I was silver, and Jacqueline had just gone emerald, and I rode with her to St. Louis. And the presenters were Jen Hawkins and gosh, I always want to say Rachel Rogers. I even did this the other day.
Emily Rogers.
Thank you. Were you at that one?
Yes, I had just joined.
Okay, I was just not sure if you'd joined yet. So then has your whole team heard this about how many ambassadors a diamond has and all of that?
No. They haven't heard this. Go. I don't even know what you're going to say. I probably wasn't.
Well, so I was new, but Jen Hawkins was up there, and I don't know if it's because I'm a finance major, I'm a math nerd, I love numbers, things like that just kind of clicked with me. So she said that the diamond ambassador on average has 40 level ones. Now, again, this was almost 3 years ago. That number's probably up because of Instagram, social media, whatever. But as far as like your network and your people, she said 40 level ones. And only about 20 of them, or only 20, this is an average number she gave. 40 level ones, 20 were active, which means 20 were not, which means it's normal for people to fall off. And then only 10 working the business. And they're diamonds. Like, that sticks with you. Like, I don't care if it takes 2 years or 5 years, eventually I can find 10 people that I can sit down. Maybe I'll tie them to a chair and explain, like, we can do this. But eventually you will find the people that can get you there. And so that those numbers just seem so doable. Like, yeah. And the other thing I heard, and these are both our uplines, so I'm like, see, I told you we're in good hands here. Is Suzanne Clinton talked about Plexus is like having 2 gold bricks in your backyard. Everyone has 2 big gold bricks in their backyard. So if you know in your backyard, and I think the theory here is if you have 2 emeralds, you can make it to diamond or whatever like that. But so you have 2 gold bricks in your backyard, you're going to start digging for them. You might dig slow, you might dig fast. Your neighbor, if they have 2 gold bricks in their backyard, they're going to be digging for them. And your neighbor or your sideline might find their gold brick faster than you. And they might find both of them faster than you. But you're going to keep digging because eventually you're going to find that other golden brick. And so those are kind of the 2 things that through those 7-8 months just really kept me motivated and kept me going. Because in those months, not only was I, not promoting or advancing, but, I'd sign people and I would lose people. And I remember Christmas hit and suddenly nobody wanted to pay for it. And I will say one thing, looking back, the people who really stick around are the ones that truly understand the products. They have to know what the products are doing for them. And they either have a great testimonial or they learn about the products because they want to share the products. Those are really the 2 things. So you want to get people plugged in and knowledgeable about the products, because once you know, once you really know what we know, you're not going to stop taking this. So anybody who's on my team or any customers who've ever quit, I'm like, my fault. I didn't educate them enough. But you only can, puke plexus on someone so much. You have to have that back and forth conversation so that you get them to want to understand and want to help themselves and want to know about what they're putting in their bodies and how to make the changes and things like that. And for me, learning about the products was because I wanted the business. So I had to learn about the products because I thought I was going to sell them. Well, once I learned about the products, it was a no-brainer. It was just something that I'm like, wow, okay, everybody needs this. Maybe I won't be an emerald or diamond someday, but if I can help one person, that's worth it. I will share this every day. And that's the most rewarding thing about this is when people come to you and say, you changed my life, or I now can do this and I'm off this medication or whatever. It's so rewarding. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Another thing I want to say is what you share kind of determines the team you build. So if you're only talking about the products, that's really the kind of, you're going to build your customer base, you're going to build wholesale ambassadors. This is great. You are helping people with the products. But if you are here and you want to build your business, you've got to share the business too. And I think, as I said earlier, the business part of this is just as equal of a product to share because Plexus is so different. Before I stayed home with kids, and then a job before that, I had a job that I had to make work. I had some bad luck after college. I graduated with honors. I was valedictorian in my high school. I could not get a job. I couldn't get an interview. I couldn't get a second interview. I was just really, really bad at all of that. And I ended up, long story short, got a job. This company gave me a chance. And I'm like, I have to prove myself and make this work because my resume is starting to look like I'm a hopper. Every other month I'm waiting tables. And I want success. I want to be successful. It's before kids, before marriage, any of that. And I got this job opportunity and I worked my hiney off. I worked nonstop to learn the product and then to promote the product And I went out, and in 2 years, I became the number one rep in this company. I was the youngest. I was only like 25. And I was the number one rep out of over 100 reps nationwide. I was making more money than I knew what to do with. And I was the saddest, most miserable person on the planet. I was planning a wedding, but I never got to see Dan because I was there until 9 o'clock at night. And then I'd come home with paperwork like this. And then, I'd wake up and do it over again. I had no time. I didn't even see sunshine. I was in the office or I was out making calls. I was eating like crap because I didn't know about it. I didn't know any better, to be honest. But and we were eating in the office all the time. I was just miserable. And I remember so finally I got married. We got through that, got married, got another job. And I remember going to the regional vice president and said, I quit. And he literally looked at me and said, well, you're young and dumb. And I knew when I was even 25 years old, there's a better way out there. And I didn't know what it was. And the job I took was going to pay me half this much, but I was so excited about this new job. But I think about this all the time because all the hours I spent there, all the time I put into that company, and the day I quit is the day I quit getting paid. Like all that time I put in there. Now, I don't put near that into Plexus. But if you put even a fraction in and you build a business, then we can continue to get paid and have the freedom. You don't have to be in an office. You don't have to be. And I think part of my thought here too, and I was thinking about this all day after my call with Steve Howard, he was like, we sometimes tend to pre-qualify people. We think, oh, they make too much money, or, oh, they, I would have probably said no at the time, but looking back, if someone wouldn't have told me about Plexus, I would have been mad. Like, keep telling me. If someone doesn't want to work this business, they don't understand this business. So I feel like it's kind of our job to tell them too, because it's a better way of life to work on your terms and build your business the way you want to. I don't know. I just feel like there was a lot of time wasted. Now, granted, I made money to pay bills, paid off student loans, paid off things like that. But at the same time, I'm like, that was a lot of hours spent working for someone else that now I have nothing to show for it. Besides, I have a little certificate. Anyways, sorry. I think the only other thing I had, sorry, I'm kind of talking a long time, aren't I?
No, you're wonderful. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Sorry. No, the only other thing I had too, and this kind of goes back to like me quitting on Jacqueline, and then you keep with the passion because they're constantly watching you, and people will come around as long as you're passionate and excited and you don't let up. So I told you about Jacqueline. Well, then I also just signed my very first ambassador. That's not weird. So the first person who joined me, who helped me go silver, she signed up and did the products 1 month. I was new. Of course, I didn't know how to support her. We're still friends. We've remained friends. We're co-chairing our school auction together, and she just signed up again. 2.5 years later, she just signed up as an ambassador. For 2 years, every word out of her mouth has been screaming Plexus to me, like with her family, with money, with everything. And it's 2.5 years, almost 3 years later, and she's signed up. I also have my best friend from high school just signed up. Like in November, so like feels really recent. I've been sharing, well over 2 years. Like it just takes persistence and time, and people when it's on their time too. So those are just examples of why, like, you can't get discouraged, and just have belief in what you're sharing, because it's so worth it. Sorry, I talked in a lot of circles there.
No, I love it. And I love that that's one of these awesome things I love, especially about you, because I always feel like I learn something from you. Like you're just a natural teacher. Like you're not boring, no offense, teachers, but you just tend to see things in a lot of different perspective than I do. And I find that so cool that different people can be at the same event and take completely different things, because you know what? I never paid attention to that. I was probably like numbers, numbers, numbers. I don't know, like whatever. Um, so I appreciate that you said that, because, and you're in a different spot in your business. You can see things in a different way too. You know, when you're first starting out, you might not pick up on some of those things. So I love that. I love the gold bricks. You know, I'd always kind of heard that story, but I hadn't thought about the fact that somebody can luck out and find them first, you know, or they might find that first one really fast, and then it takes a really long time to find that last one, or it might be in the very last place you look. And I love that. I think that is so cool. And I think that you come at a really great approach of the products and that belief that we build in those products, but also that importance of giving everybody that opportunity. Because you're right, there's so many people that we pre-qualify and we think, oh, they make too much money, oh, they look down on network marketing. But you were really in a place where you had those things, but the freedom wasn't there. The time wasn't there. The happiness wasn't there. And so you were willing to leave that to go take a compromise in position and salary to do something very different. So I think I just love it. I've taken like all kinds of notes, so I appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions before I start chatting more with Kelsey? Anybody want to ask anything? You're welcome to.
I want to add one thing that I don't share. Don't tell her I said that. Or I don't know if this is. I don't know. I've thought about it a lot, but I don't always say it. So Emily Fennell is your upline, right? So, and we know that a lot of her success, she saw her dream teamers and she went after them. Like that was her strategy. And it's brilliant and it's awesome. I will tell you, she never reached out to me. And I'm like, well, why was I not a dream teamer? Jacqueline could have been on my team. In a whole different world right now. So I joke about this, but don't hesitate. Reach out to those people, because you just never know. And I reach out to people because I'm like, well, I don't want them to be mad at me later because I didn't tell them.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like there's a whole lot of people that, you know, we could all be reaching out to, or we could all be thinking, well, so-and-so's most definitely already talked to X or Y, you know, because they're so awesome. And yet some of those people just get left out because everyone assumes that somebody's talked to them already. So I think that's a good point. I do think that too. Anybody else? Do you have any questions? I just love Kelsey. She is just awesome. And if you are a Kansas City local, even if you're not, you should come to some of these healthy happy hours. I had the pleasure of getting to hear Kelsey host last time, and just a phenomenal job. And I think your potentials would be really great to come, even you, to learn some of that knowledge. She does a really great job of having that very down-to-earth style of conversation, of not feeling as though you're being at or talked over, but really breaking it down and coming to your level and kind of explaining things in that way. So
you're way too nice to me.
Oh, gosh. You have a really cool style. I really appreciate it. I really like those events too, I think.
Oh, I do love those events. And thank you for sharing last time too, for me.
Yes.
Loved it.
And sometimes they turn into like just talking and telling stories, and that's what's kind of nice too, because like Kelsey said, that belief piece that we really get from all of those. So Kelsey, if you were to say one thing that you think was most contributed to your success, what do you think it would be? Or what do you think is most important?
You could have
knew.
briefed me on this.
Well, like, I'm sorry. What do you think a new ambassador should know? Like, what's one of those things that you're like, I wish somebody would have just said.
I'm just teasing you, by the way. I'm joking. You know, everything that comes to mind is, I feel like, is so cliche. I just want to say attitude and positivity. Like, be excited about what you're doing. This is, like, every day. The first convention I went to, did you go to the first one in Vegas, Nicole?
I did. Yes.
So with Rita Davenport?
Yes.
So I think about this all the time. When people, especially like if people get discouraged, and I don't know, because I feel like if they're not discouraged, they're fine. But I want to talk to the people who are getting discouraged, because you shouldn't get discouraged, because no one outside of Plexus knows what silver is or gold is or what your PV is. Maybe your upline knows, but if it's not great, they're probably not paying attention anyway. So nobody knows. Sorry, I should. But like, I just feel like do your thing and be excited about it. No one knows how you're doing, like if you're promoting or not. And Rita Davenport at that first convention, she's hilarious, by the way, but she said, if someone asks you, hey, how's that Plexus stuff going, you say unbelievable. It might be unbelievably bad. We don't want to lie, and we don't want to make stuff up. You don't want to be like, well, it's terrible, nobody's buying anything, or like nobody's gonna want to join you. But if you're like, unbelievable, I'm talking to a lot of people, maybe they're your sidelines, but they don't know that, like, be excited, because whenever someone is ready to jump on board, you want to be that person they want to jump on board with. So one of my biggest, I have a leg under me with 2 emeralds, my cousins, and they knew other people doing Plexus, and we, we live farther away. Yes, I've been reaching out back and forth, but they had said the reason that they joined me was because of my excitement, my passion, and also my, my upline. They could tell this was a company this was a group that was going to give into, pour into them and be there for them. So you want to be that person. You want to be that one that, like, if someone is considering it, they want to join you as opposed to anyone else, because they know you're not going anywhere, and they know your passion is real, and they know you care, and I think that's really important. And it might take a while. You might have to fake it for a while, but
yeah,
that's really.
I've been known to say my phone is blowing up, and maybe it wasn't blowing up, but somehow, some way, it does start to. Once you start putting that stuff out there, suddenly it comes back to you.
Exactly. It really, it does.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to ask you another question if nobody else asks.
Sure.
All right. What do you look for most in business builders? When you're recruiting, what do you like to look for?
Oh, I love this.
Biggest predictor of success in your eyes.
These are awesome questions, Nicole.
We're just coming up with them because I like, out of what you've been saying, I want to hear what you have.
No, and I feel like everything that I want to answer with, I hope I'm not answering these like politically, like beating around the actual question here, but it makes me think of John Maxwell. I'm sorry, I keep doing this, but
totally, yeah.
Makes me think of John Maxwell at Leaders Retreat, where he talks about, and even Bob Hylett, they all talk about this. You don't want anybody on your team. You don't want everybody on your team. You want people who have good work ethic, who are, present themselves well, or who are excited, and I think I like people who just, I think, are motivated, who have done things and are, some people can surprise you, though. I will tell you that. Like, don't always pre-qualify. Definitely go after. There's a checklist. You know, self-motivated, someone who I'm not going to have to, you know, hold their hand, and if they're, you know, down all the time, like that can kind of be draining. But so there's a checklist, but also there's people who can totally surprise you. And if you've been at events at all, like, there are jewels. There are. I heard somebody else talk about it the other day. There's the what do you call it? Okay, I can't think of the name, but the jewels that you see all the time, the Rachel Rogers, the Emily Roberts, the Jen Hawkins, you're kind of like the one, they're your celebrity jewels, I guess you could say. But for all of those, there are a whole bunch that fly under the radar that are all walks of life, like old, young, big, small, men, women, all religions, there is everyone, all of that. So, like, even though we see this certain prototype as who can make it in this company, that is false. And if you've been, you know, to leaders retreat and conventions and things, and you can see the leaders, anybody can do this. You just have to have, I think, the right mindset, be positive, and just keep sharing. And look for your business builders. Like I said, I mean, you could share products, and that will definitely make you money. But if you wanna grow a team and grow your business, then you want to find those people who see the big vision too, like you do. I don't know.
I love that. And you seem like, I'm sorry, feedbacking. You seem like you really get into some personal development yourself. Do you have a favorite?
No, I don't have a favorite. I love listening to Zooms. I love listening to Diamonds. I love listening to any network marketing person. I honestly have bought almost every book. I have yet to get it through a single one. I'm just being honest. Don't tell anybody that.
It's not your thing.
This is not my thing, but I will listen to stuff all the time. And when I first started, I mean, I would sit there with tears in my eyes, like inspired and motivated and excited. And I do have a few favorites that I'll listen to a couple times, but for the most part, no, I'll just listen to anything. If somebody says, "Ooh, this is really good," I'm like, sweet. What is it?
Put it on.
Yeah.
You're a sponge. You just soak it all up. I love it. Kelsey, you have been amazing. Thank you for letting us keep you so long tonight. And
no, thank you for having me. It means a lot. I really appreciate it.
We love having you. We appreciate it. You can come back anytime. I love to talk to you. So it's great to hear all of your thoughts. Thank you. And thank you guys. Busy month for us so far. Crazy month last month. So keep watching. Next week, a week from today, we're going to have John Maxwell development coach Melissa McSherry, who is a dear friend of mine and who has been on calls before, and we're having her back to talk a little bit about breaking past those fears and mindset in your business. So I'm excited for her to join us too. So we have back-to-back great weeks. Thank you, Kelsey. Have a awesome night tonight, guys. I'm going to post the recording for anyone who jumped in late or to send to your teams. So it will be on the team page. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. Thanks, Kels.
Thank you.